Welcome to today's language lesson on future perfect tense. You may be saying to yourself that you already know what future tense is. So what makes this perfect? Well, to understand the future perfect tense, I must explain two separate things. Number one, when would I use the future perfect tense? And number two, what is the form of future perfect tense? Hang tight. I will answer these questions. And by the end of this lesson, you will have learned all about the future perfect tense. Whoa, did you see that? Well, probably not, because you haven't learned it yet. But I just used an example of a future tense and also future perfect tense. Let me pull those back up and explain. When I said that I will answer these questions, I was using future tense. I use future tense when I want to talk about something that hasn't happened yet. Look at this timeline. This first point represents time right now, at the exact moment that you're listening to this, right now. I haven't answered those two questions yet, but I know that I will, so I use future tense to show that it will happen. I use the helping verb will with the present tense of the verb answer. But this is a lesson about future perfect tense, so let's get to that example. I used the future perfect tense when I said, by the end of this lesson, you will have learned all about the future perfect tense. Let's pull up that timeline again. Okay, so here we are, right now. And I said that by the end of this lesson, you will have learned something. So I'm looking into the future at a specific point in time. To be precise, I'm looking into the future at the time that this lesson is finished. That is represented by this point. I use the future perfect tense when I know that something will have been done somewhere between now and that point in the future. So, somewhere in here. To create the future perfect tense, I use the helping verbs will have followed by the past participle of the verb you're using. This is different from the future tense because you're no longer using the present tense of the verb. To reiterate, we use the future perfect tense when I want to say that something will have been done by a specific time in the future. To use it correctly, I use will have and then the past participle of the verb. Let's take a look at this in action. Let's say that your mom wants you to clean your room because you have company arriving for dinner tonight. If you say, I will clean my room at 4 o'clock, that might not make her happy because the guests are coming at 5 o'clock. And if you don't start until 4, well, you might not finish on time. So instead, you should use the future perfect tense and say, I will have cleaned my room by 5 o'clock. Now you're letting your mom know that your room will be clean by the time company arrives. Here's another example. Your brother is trying to earn money for a trip to Magic Mountain with his friends. He needs to raise $100, and the trip is next week. I don't know what he's going to do to earn that money. Maybe mow some lawns, doing some dishes, collecting soda cans. But don't worry, he'll raise the money. In fact, by next week, he will have earned enough money to go on the trip. See, here we are right now. Next week is the trip. Somewhere in between is when he will raise the money. So we can use the future perfect tense. Notice the will have and the past participle earned. One more example, and I'll let you figure this one out. Listen carefully to this word. Banana. Got it? What was that word? Did you say banana? I hope so. And tomorrow, if I ask you to tell me this word, you'll probably remember. But what if I asked you next month? Do you think you will have remembered? Probably not. Most people would forget. So let's use the future perfect tense to explain. By blank, I blank, blank, blank that word. You should probably pause the video and fill in the blanks. Okay, ready? I would have said, by next month, I will have forgotten that word. By next month, I will have forgotten that word. Well, there you have it. The video is almost over, and I have answered both of these questions. When would I use the future perfect tense? And what is the form of the future perfect tense? Don't be afraid to watch this video again if you're not quite sure that you understand yet. And don't forget, by the end of 5th grade, you will have learned so much. See what I did there? You know, future perfect tense. Ha ha ha.